Snow White, Bengal, Golden, White. Oh, hell yeah, this is the coolest picture ever. Looks like God ran out of printer ink. All those tigers are actually so cute. I wanna pet them. I like big cats, I don't know. They don't like me, probably. All operating systems should be infinitely backward compatible to the start of time. Strictly backwards compatible operating systems might be cute when they're young, but then they grow up to be a bloated mess of a million frameworks. That's impossible to take care of. Nobody wants a Windows 10 on their PC. How backwards compatible is Win 10? I've been hearing that the focus on backwards compatibility has been waning internally at Microsoft since at least Vista, but I don't know any details. You can't name a folder con on Windows 10. Too much dismay of scam artists everywhere. It's reserved for like a camera or something. What? I don't get the joke here. Am I dumb? I don't get Tumblr, man. What's going on here? Do you ever get friend lust? Like, you just see someone and you're like, man, I have such a friend crush on you. I want to be your friend so bad. I want to be more than a friend. I want to be a best friend, you hear me? You're so cool. I admire you a lot and you're so funny. Please be my BFFL. I will treat you right. Let me be your Drake friend. No other friend would treat you like I would. Me and who? I'm telling ya. Me and who? It's only an unpaid internship if you don't steal enough office supplies. Stealing is wrong. You mean unpaid internships? I agree. You're right. We should pay all of our interns so they don't have to steal office supplies. Unpaid internships is a scam. I'll never understand why Disney is so focused on live-action remakes when they literally own the rights to the Muppets. I would take a Muppet remake of a Disney animation classic over a live-action remake all day, every day. Muppet Beauty and the Beast, where the Beast is played by the only human actor, and he turns into a Muppet at the end. The Beast should be a conventionally attractive actor whom the Muppet townspeople continually call hideous, until true love releases him from this curse, and he shows true beauty. Blue felt and plastic eyes. I would watch the hell out of every Muppet Disney remake. Like Muppet Peter Pan, even like, Muppet Little Mermaid, Muppet Princess and the Frog would be awesome. Good stuff. Booby traps? Sure. I would fall easily into a trap if I saw boobs. I think we as humans can all come to agree, boobs are great. They're just awesome. Like the video if you agree, and also comment, I agree, Mason says Mason. Those things are pretty cool. Every show about teenagers should have an on-site consultant aged 14 to 18 who looks over the script and says we should not frickin' say that. Hashtag chit-chats. Hashtag, and then the writers have to do it again. I think this is great. I honestly think, child actors need a little bit of help. A lot of them grow up to not be great and not be, perfectly healthy. I think it needs to change. Blogs about Tubbs the cat. I hate Tubbs the cat. I love Tubbs the cat. I'm okay with Tubbs the cat. The Holy Trinity. Guys, tag yourself. I actually don't know what the heck Tubbs the cat is, so I'm actually none of these. We've made flashlights, but we haven't made reverse flashlights. Artificial darkness would be funny as heck, though. I'd love to beam a line of night directly into someone's face. Go to the void! The minute somebody makes a reverse flashlight, it's over for everybody. They can make a flashlight that's like really, really big, a reverse flashlight that's really, really big, and then shine it onto like an unsuspecting town, and then chaos would ensue. Also, what would happen if you took a flashlight and a reverse flashlight and pointed them at each other? Even if every type of meat could be replicated without animal suffering, be affordable, I would still have no mercy for tiny fish. Like, sorry little guy, but you are literally designed as a tiny little snack. Like, if a huge eldritch being told me that I'm literally designed to be a little snack, I would not argue with that. What? Do you just eat little baby fish, man? Like, do you go to PetSmart and buy all the beta fish and then eat them like popcorn in a bucket? What's wrong with you? The entire point of Johnny Bravo is that he doesn't get laid. He is not a himbo, and I will not tolerate people saying he is. Himcell. I hate to break this to you, pal, but Johnny's creator says he does get laid off screen, but any success he receives on the show isn't comedic, so they don't talk about it. He's Schrodinger's himbo. He was literally thrown into a volcano as a virgin sacrifice, and the volcano spat him back out. I can't believe Johnny Bravo got shamed by a volcano. Who is this dude down here? What is he doing there? Guys, shaming is bad. An action being punishable by a fine basically means legal for rich people. Oh wow, I once dated a rich guy, and if I said, hey, it's illegal to drink on the street, he'd respond with, nah, it costs you 150 pounds. Or, you can't park here. Yeah, I can, and it costs 35 pounds. Like, literally, that's how he saw fines. It was just how much you paid to do the thing. You're right. We should just send all the rich people to jail. A girl in one of my classes sent out an email saying, "You'll be having a furry classmate this semester." And my heart stopped, but she was talking about her service dog. Source Omega Boner. The best part about Tumblr posts sometimes is just the name of the person making the post. It's just, Omega Boner is so funny. One-handed weapons suit me very much. They leave a free hand to perform rude gestures. I can respect that. This is the realest reason to use a one-handed weapon. Yeah, like a gun. I have a gun in my hand, and in the other hand, I'm flipping you off. It's awesome. I need to go to bed. Nightly Spiral. This is my favorite freaking comic ever. I have never seen something capture the experience so well. This is literally me, like, not when I need to go to bed. I'm usually pretty good about that. But sometimes I'll sit down to do these recordings for you guys, for Easy Peasy or for Ask MK or something. And I'll have the post pulled up and I'll have Audacity on my second monitor. And then I'll just sit there, and instead of hitting the record button, I'll scroll TikTok. And today I literally scrolled TikTok for an hour and a half before I was like, I'm supposed to be doing work. I'm supposed to be working. I sat down at 3:30 and now it is 5 p.m. I threw my phone across the room onto my bed because I was like, I'm gonna keep doing it if I have it over here. So my little sister heard the ice cream truck and tried to grab her money and run after it, but she couldn't catch up. So now she's just kind of lying there on the street. That's me. You know, I've never been able to actually buy anything from the ice cream truck. Maybe if I ever see one, maybe I should start carrying cash on me. Because if I ever see one, I would like to eventually try something from a truck. WTF do you say after you kiss someone? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, I mean, that's about right. You know, I wouldn't know what to say. I would be like, mwah, and then I just look at them and be like, wow, didn't realize your standards were so low. Thanks for the kiss, though. The quality of this was so bad, but it really made you feel like an artist. I can feel the dryness of those markers in my bones. Fun fact, those dry markers were supposed to have water put into them to make them work. You take off the bottom thing and pour water in, and bam, instant marker success. Only learned about this 4 years after I'd lost my set. What? Joseph de Creux, 1735 to 1802, was a French painter who is known primarily for his unorthodox self-portraits. I always wondered where that one painting came from. Why have we only memed one of these 4 portraits? When did we as a society fail? That top right one, he's just balling. This dude invented basketball. He's balling as frick, bro. When you ask someone, hey, are you okay? And they give you a thumbs up because whatever BS they're currently in the middle of renders them unable to speak. That generally means, absolutely not, but I can't be stopped. Thank you for your concern. Anakin Skywalker does not use Jedi mind tricks. Not once in the films. Do you think that's a coincidence? Not on your life, buddy. I almost forgot to mention, this woman came into the penguin enclosure with a kestrel. I said, oh my god, is that an American kestrel? And she said, yes. She was outside doing raptor education for the kids, but she doesn't like getting rained on. She was watching the penguins with what I will anthropomorphically project as skepticism. Kestrel. I hate rained on. Human. Here is birds and water. Kestrel. No. My sisters and I are trying to fence with brooms. What kind of fencing do you have? Eepy. Do you have any fencing tips for us? Just hit each other. Ask my champion fencing friend for pointers. Fencing is just swordplay with extra steps. And you have to wear a stupid mask. Why can't I just bonk people on the head with the end of a broom? Unfortunately, reptiles never evolved a defense against dentists. That toothbrush has seen better days. Goodness gracious. The funniest thing about the Teen Titans cartoon is how they all call each other by their code names, and it's because despite living together, they don't know each other's real names. Titan Towers was a Discord server. You're right. I don't even know any of their real names. Except I don't know which Robin it is. I don't know. OMG, I found this video on YouTube called Elk Hunting Chihuahua, and the guy is like, make sure you have a good hunting dog, and just opens his backpack to reveal his little chihuahua named Coco, and tells us how amazing she is at hunting. And then he just whips her out and says, you gotta have one of these things. They can track, and they're just the best hunting dogs in the world. And that was the whole video, and honestly, I've never wanted a chihuahua more in my life. I'm crying! He's holding her like an orange. Literally holding her like the skull from Hamlet. It's so cute. New general philosophy, when something breaks, repair it with chunks of geode. On the edge of a counter? That's gonna cut you up, dude. That is not safe. The problem with kids these days is that they don't watch Linkin Park anime AMVs. I've never watched an anime AMV. Ever. Literally ever. Not even a Pokemon one. I have been into Pokemon for almost 20 years now. Probably like 17 or 18 years now. And I have never watched any anime AMVs, so do with that as you will. Movies where a creature of another species with a love for good food meets a mess of a human down on his luck living in an apartment, and the creature can control the guy's action, and he's unwilling at first, but they learn to cooperate, and together, they can stop the evil rich man trying to take them down. Ratatouille and Venom. This comparison is wild, but where's the lie? There is not a lie. When you leave out some important details like that, it's the same movie. It's literally the same movie. Do twins have the same size dick? Now we're asking the real questions. As a twin, I can say my dick is definitely bigger than my sister's. This is a classic joke. You'll love to see jokes like this still resurfacing to this day. The weirdest thing I've learned while working for pest control is that snails love rat poison and will actively eat it, but hate sesame seeds. I should add that rat poison has no effect on snails, and they just get super fat because they gorge themselves in boxes of rat poison. Absolute units. Of course they can go and get eaten by birds, raccoons, or whatever, and deliver like 10 times the lethal dose of rat poison to whatever's eating them and kill it horribly. Snail use toxic. It's super effective. I know everyone's like, the only way to kill Dracula is a stake through the heart, but in modern times I think we should at least try hitting him very fast with a car. Same energy as that Buffy episode, where the big bad can't be hurt by any weapon forged, and she's like, it's been 500 years, are you sure? And annihilates it with a M136 rocket launcher. I might have to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because that sounds funny as heck. My favorite thing about Samus's power suit is the giant snack containers on her shoulders. The Metroids attached to her to siphon the snacks, which kill her. I'd frickin' die too if some jackass aliens decided to deprive me of my Skittles, Snickers, Twix, Kit Kats, and more, which I stored in my refrigerated shoulder compartments. Despite what popular opinion may lead you to believe, some rocks actually do have scientifically proven auras. Unfortunately, those rocks are uranium, and the aura is cancer. Man, you got my hopes up. I want cool aura rocks, but I also don't want cancer. Craigslist house share ad. I have a garden growing in my shower, so you have to use eco-friendly hair products. You will see worms and other insects, and you will occasionally see a spider too, but they all help out the ecosystem. Okay. You shower with that? You shower with that? How do people, we're moving on. If something is old as frick, then it's about 1.2 billion years old, because that's when life evolved sexual reproduction. Wow, frick is old. However, if something is old as balls, it's only about 65 million years old, when placental mammals began to evolve proper testicles. I love biologists. Honey is vegan. I don't really care if a bee is like, where's all the honey I've been making? They probably get over it really fast. Their brains are very small. Bees choose to live in the box where they know damn well that a large fraction of the honey will periodically be removed. Instead of simply leaving that place, like they are perfectly able to do, because the human box comes with an invulnerable titan to guard them against all threats. The bees consider the payment offered to this colossal mercenary to be a pretty good deal. Bees know about supply and demand. Protection money? No. Protection honey. A baby can be born right now at 12 o'clock on a Wednesday, August 24th in New Jersey, while another baby is also born in the exact same moment, but they are born 9 o'clock on a Tuesday, August 23rd in California. These babies that are born at the same moment are technically because of time zones, a concept that we created ourselves, born hours apart, even though they are really born at the same moment, just not the same time. One will be considered older, even though in actuality, they are the same. WTF. Why did you do that to me? I'm going to be thinking about this all day. By the time I get to the end of this video, I'm still thinking about it. By the time I get to the next video, which by the way, r/Tinder, I'll still be thinking about this post. You've messed me up. I can't do this. First horse that got ridden. That itself is really funny. Okay. Horses are incapable of human speech. It's always a good time at Quirky Brittany. Follow her for a peasant and hipster-free blogging experience. This perfectly preserved comment from 2014. Peasant and hipster-free indeed. What's going on here? What is all this? Satanists are so funny because they're always like, we don't really worship Satan. We just worship the self. Like, wow, Satan fooled you twice, you goon. I worship Satan because he has a baller-ass horns. Like, frick, man. You gonna tell me you don't want horns longer than your arms? No, I do not want horns because I do not despise my own flesh and the form given me by my creator. Why do you detest your mortal form? Because I want baller-ass horns. The idea of baller-ass horns sounds fun, but also, I'm pretty tall, and if I had horns that made me taller, I hit my head on a lot of stuff. Like, I'd probably run into my ceiling fan and, like, knock it off the ceiling. Deep fryer hungry! Feed it 20-pound bag of ice! Fun pranks to pull on your last day at Applebee's. Fun pranks to pull to make it everyone's last day at Applebee's. Radiation is insane. There are rocks out there that will pull the seams of your organs apart if you stand too close to them. Some rocks really do have auras. Unfortunately, the aura is eat and die energy. Wait, I want to see something. Reblog with your age, if you're in school or not, and what time you usually wake up in the morning. I feel like these reblog games are made by government plants or something to slowly up the ante in getting Tumblr users to divulge personal information. Like they go from reblog with your favorite color to, I just want to see something. What's your date of birth and place of residence? And then further to, just curious, reblog with your social security number. You heard it here first, folks. Please, comment down below what your favorite color is. Sneezing on your period is the worst thing in the world. What happens? When you sneeze, you can feel blood shoot out of you. Duh. Guys on this site, finding out new things about periods is my favorite thing. Things to say that will always start a fight. You guys want to start a fight? Whose idea was it to end this show? I've never watched a full episode of this, and I feel like I'm really missing out. He begged no more, but the Holy Hand ignored his plea. By the way, if you ever see me wearing a ram skull and holding a knife covered in blood up to the elbows, don't even worry about it. If the knife is clean, though, you might want to worry. Just a little bit. How many introverts does it take to change a light bulb? Why does it have to be a group activity? I can easily do it myself. I don't want to talk to anybody. Can't believe that pioneer woman used to churn butter for hours without even listening to a podcast about Bigfoot. Historically, when performing long, repetitive tasks like churning butter or weaving cloth, people would sit together and tell stories, folk stories, fairy tales, and even stories about mysterious ape-like figures living in the forest. So, yes, Pioneer Woman did listen to podcasts about Bigfoot while churning butter. It's nice to know that we can churn butter just like the old times. The dopest thing about horses is that they're basically grass engines. Like, grass goes in, fast comes out. Most things that produce fast, like cheetahs and cars, use much more heavily processed grass, like horses and oil. And yet, here horses are, producing the fast with only the grass. Are you okay? This person's got a point. I think we need to start riding horses more. Forget cars. My upstairs neighbors have officially gotten to the point where they're loud enough to wake me up. I'm happy homegirl is getting her back blown out, but I wish both of them and that whole family would become severely allergic to movement. They're changing me. They're making me worse. I have a suggestion. Yes, I suggest arson. What do you suggest? I'll give you one guess. Which of these shapes is boba and which is kiki? The one on the left is more boba and the one on the right is more kiki. Thanks. New Turing test just dropped. What is a Turing test? Please tell me. Today I learned that because of mistranslation, Jimmy Carter told the Polish people in 1977 that he desired them carnally and that he had left the United States to never return. Imagine being a Polish citizen and you hear the American president say he's here to frick and he's not leaving. Depends on which president. Have fun in the war, dumbass. I'll be home. Frickin' military wives. My girlfriend's husband fights for your freedom. Damn. Good way to get your windows kicked in. Shut the frick up and raise my son, bootlicker. All fun and games until someone with 3 confirmed kills shows up at your doorstep with a baseball bat. I'm not at my house, though. I'm at yours with your wife. He's got shooters all over the world, even when he's away. Just shot a load in his wife. I love this post, and I love Tumblr user HotMeat89. He doesn't even know. Know what? The economic state of America. Yeah, I'm a non-practicing woman. I was raised female, but I don't really believe anymore, you know? I'm culturally female. I don't really believe in one true gender, but I do participate in some of the rituals I was raised in, when I feel like it, and I enjoy participating in the traditions of other genders too sometimes. I'm only female on Christmas and Easter for my parents. Everyone needs to read the Instantly Scrolls Past. Why is no one talking about Scrolls Violently Past? Found this cool rock on a hike today. Pauses to admire photo of rock. Does that rock happen to be emitting any aura? Because if so, I would probably put it down. You know the rules. Scientists reveal new most dangerous personality type. New personality just dropped. My god, the personality type where they suck your brain out like spaghetti. Ugh, somebody sucking my brain out? Sign me up. I'm sick of it. I love how all of Batman's villains are like, ah, he's not at the manor. It's defenseless. And then Alfred just racks an AK-47 and is like, pull up, bitch. Batman's villains, the butler, will be easy prey. He's just an old man. He doesn't have any of the Batman gadgets or training or fighting skills. Oh my, you're right. There's something else of Master Bruce's I don't have as well. It's a shotgun. A code against killing. Alfred's badass, I'll tell you now. I have no clue what a sieve is. This dude. Oh, the hole bowl. I've never once heard someone call a sieve a hole bowl, and I hope I never have to hear it again. So my grandmother passed away recently, and I got her will. My birth father was always a piece of garbage, always stealing from his mother and dishing his kids whenever he could. I got to his part of the will, and to my son Chad, I leave the sum of $1. Grammy had the last laugh. This is actually done for legal reasons. If Chad was excluded from the will entirely, he could make the case that he was supposed to be included, but was forgotten, and get a big chunk of the estate. By explicitly giving him $1, it shows he wasn't forgotten, so he doesn't have a case. We need to start doing this more. I love this. Me trying to spell something in French. I think that's enough vowels. The French language. You fool. You insolent coward. It's scientifically impossible not to read this with a French accent. I'm French, and please, we don't talk all like that. Arg. I'm French, and please, we don't talk always like that, guys.